So guys, let's go on and finally do the barrel. So what I want to do now is just to hide the frame part, go to barrel and hide the slide part for now, or unhide it. Okay, so let's go back in Maya and let's form a barrel shape based on this cutout. So here is references for the barrel. Here it is downside of it. Here's the exploded version, exploded scheme. And here's this kind of view. So let's just unhide this guy, isolate it, turn on ambient occlusion, and let's import the barrel. So import it right like this, and now let's do this boxy shape over there. Let's block out it at least. Start with the box, move it, top view, move it to there. The barrel is symmetrical, so snap it to this point over there. You can do snapping at this point as well, like this. Right, and now the barrel is tilted. You can see here it almost it almost evens with the slide and then tapers down to there. So I can just do so, like this. Well, actually, I think I'll have to do another extra cutout for the slide, because it should, like, there should be a place for barrel to come in. So check on the reference. So let's connect 2 times and turn on symmetry, and let's snap those edges to this position, like there, and extrude like this, right? And another thing, let's raise this higher, like this, but no need to snap, just right there. So now it's time for the bevels. The bevels are kind of tricky there, because this is the front part, this is the back part, and you can see that this bevel, it like turns, further it goes forward, more it is turning. like here it is, it's like, I guess it's like perfectly vertical, and this is kind of tricky thing to do. I'm not sure if it is like that, because right here I can see just like normal bevel, and in the back part it is beveled normally. But in here, well, actually I wouldn't say so. I think it's quite same beveling. You can see actually this gap over there. I do have that one as well. Guess it's normal. So okay, so let's do bevels like here, and then we'll see how it's going to turn out, how it's going to look, and see if it's better to edit or something. There's also like this part over there. It is unnecessary to model it out. No need for that, because you will never be able to see this thing. So I'll keep it like this. I'll just move the bottom part a bit higher, like there, or even a bit more higher, right there. And let's do those bevels. Just like this. However, I guess this bevel turns thinner towards the front, and I can do that by moving these guys more into here. So yeah, I think it's like somewhere in the middle. It's not like super vertical, but it's like leaning towards verticality or something like that. So I guess this would be like that. Okay, so one last thing. I want to know if it's, well, yeah, it's not tilting that much as I did. That's too much. Like this. Yeah. Okay, so this guy is ready. Export it. Let's, right, we're in a barrel. Import. Shift D. And you can see as like this is a common thing, because since this is a four-edged polygon, and the surface is not perfectly flat aligned like to this surface, so you can see those artifacts, and in order to get rid of that you need to divide your model. So I'll crease it in any way possible so that there was no like this kind of thing. Right there. Now you can see like more polygons popping out. So you just increase. Yeah. Now it looks good. Okay. However, I think that this is not the correct way, because this polygon is not forming a flat surface. This is not how a milling machine would work. It cannot create that curved line. I think I'll try to achieve this effect by cutting out this thing with a box. Right now I'm going to fix this. Go back and do like this. weld those guys and export and replace it right there. Shift D, and now duplicate and import a simple box right there. And turn off the slide like this. Turn it 45 degrees. Set to subtract. And now let's try to manually set this thing. Well, you can see that this thing happened on itself because this like basically cutting part is straight and this is angled, so you can see what kind of bevel it creates. This is really plausible in terms of machinery, like modern machinery and how it works. So I think this is looking good. Just want to double check one thing here. Okay, as you can see, the bevel goes almost all the way there, all the way to the angle. So like this. It's pretty thick. So I think it's I think it's like this because it's not that long as it was, so I'm not accurate with the angle. This looks more like it. And now you can see on the front view it's perfectly flat. This is how would machinery work. Okay, so duplicate it, mirror, merge those two guys like this. Okay, so let's go on. There is like this cutting this part. So basically what I'm going to do is to cut everything except those two like gaps. And one other thing I would like to do is to actually cut a hole out there. So I have, do I have that? Yeah, I think I have this guy in slide. No, it's messed, it's scaled. Come on, where is it? Okay, whatever. I can use the barrel here. Select inner faces, deselect them and invert selection. Turn off the ambient occlusion and close hole as well here. Poke and export this guy. Wait, hold on. Flip normals. Now export him back. Right there. Duplicate this guy and import the cylinder. Increase it. Turn to subtract. Move and divide. Okay, now we have a hole which is perfectly fitting with the barrel, the diameter of the barrel. Now let's go with the boxes. So I will create a box and snap those vertices to this point so that it snaps to that part. Export right there and duplicate. Set to subtract. Reset pivot, center it, and let's check on here. So right now I'm going to do this shape there. All right, now duplicate this guy, scale it outwards, and turn to subtract, and rotate it the way it is on the reference, like somewhere like this. Turn on polypaint so that there was no like artifacts. All right. Okay, so another thing that there are like big fat bevels over here, but I guess I would like to do those after I do this feed ramp. The feed ramp is basically like a ramp where the cartridge slides into the barrel. When the slide hits the cartridge on the back, the front of the cartridge hits this thing and like lifts up. So I have a reference right there so we can see this. And let's think how this thing could look. All right, we have this here. So basically it's a like box rotated with a cutout, with this rounded shape cutout. So let's update our barrel, make Boolean mesh, select barrel, Control W, export it, delete those guys, import the barrel, here it is. And now let's try to build up a feed ramp. According to reference, it's a bit thinner than the hole itself, like this, and move those guys down like this, those guys up, so that the side walls like right there could hit it. There's no need to be especially accurate with this part because this thing is going to be barely seen, so no need to be 100% accurate, but still you want to resemble somewhat accurate. Like, my personal opinion is that the weapon should logically operate, so that there would be no like silly stuff, like there's like a part missing or a part goes into the wall of something else. So everything should be on its place, at least on logical level. So if you have that stuff, that's okay. I'm not that person who goes 100% accurate and like representative. Okay, this looks good, I think. Go to ZBrush, select that guy. And what I want to do is to put that feed ramp above the cutting. Where is it? Why I don't see it? Oh, right, because of these guys, they're cutting that out. So, okay, that's not a problem. So you just move this shape lower, move to the bottom, and the feed ramp as well, but before that, right there. So as you can see now, like all those boxes are cutting that shape as we need, then the feed ramp adds on it on top of it, and the cylinder cuts the feed ramp, and everyone's are happy. So now let's do that like slope, and you can see at this point that this is actually almost working. Well, because not like 100%, but it's really close. As you can see, like the gun is assembled correctly because this is the magazine, this is where the round starts, and this is the feed ramp. So like all the dimensions and distances are pretty much close so that the gun could actually operate. Obviously, like the cartridge is not high enough for like to slide on this slope, but that's not the point, you know. If I had this gun right in my hands, I would like obviously do it perfectly and try to repeat all kind of like any kind of details I can, but right now this gun has another purpose. So okay, so this part is quite tricky as well. Let's try and place, oh no, sorry guys, I've edited the original cylinder, right? Yeah, you need to duplicate it like that. Now let's scale the duplicate, rotate it along this part right there, set to subtract, and let's move it in like this. Well, that looks good. That actually works. So I guess I could scale it sideways just a bit more. Or I could go and check the reference. Right, there is some space over there. So let's scale it like this. One thing I wanted to edit is this guy over there and put it right there. However, I think I'm not going to do that because anyways, that since this object is not going to be seen, but like anytime you do a really sharp edge, like right here, it's going to be bad on baking. It's not going to look like proper. And however, you're actually going to be seeing this part only from this angle, so I could actually delete the faces below because you will not be able to see that. Well, okay, let's keep it flat like this. What the hell is this? Oh, okay. So let's move it out. Yeah. Okay, let's keep it like this. This looks good. I like the way it looks. So, and one last thing is this like lower part bevel. You can do that with simple box as well. Right, paint it, duplicate, import box. Where is it? Here it is. 45 degrees, holding shift and rotating. Scale it. It's affecting that feed ramp. I don't need that. Put it right there. Yeah. Let's see if this edge is not popping out on the slide. Nope, it's not. It looks good. So now let's duplicate and mirror. Set to subtract again. And here it is. This is how the barrel looks like. So one little thing left for the barrel. And well, actually, I think I'm going to increase the radius of this hole over here, because actually I don't know that for sure, but I can assume that the chamber part is a bit wider in diameter so that it could fit the cartridge as well, because the bullet itself is a bit thinner than the cartridge. So you can see here that this wall is a bit thinner than I have, so I will make that assumption and make this part a bit wider. So what I'm going to do is Shift D, go to Z Modeler and add some edge loops right there. Select these guys. Oh, right, I forgot. So if I'm going to divide this and scale the diameter, you can see that the transition is going to be soft. I don't need that to be soft, so I'll crease this part. Crease, and now if I do the same thing, hold on, crease, scale. Oh, come on, I'm holding Shift, sorry guys. Yeah, you can see that the transition is sharp. Okay, so I'll do it somewhat like this. Yeah, but now I'm going to move this part further so it won't be that visible. I don't need it to be visible. That's right there. Okay. I could like fit a cartridge over there and adjust the length according to the cartridge, but we'll see that. It's fine like this. Alright, so one last thing is rifling of the barrel. This part can actually be seen, so I think I would do that. So let's update our barrel part there. So go into Boolean, desub, make Boolean mesh, select this guy, Control W and export. Yes. Delete all you have here. Don't need that, don't need that, don't need that as well. And this, and import. Right there, here's the barrel. And now about rifling. So let's check out the number of the grooves that are rifled. So this is like the best reference. So I guess it's like if we count grooves, so 1, 2, 3, I guess here it's 4, somewhere here it's 5 and 6. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I guess it's 6. 6 grooves. Okay, so how do we do that? Let's isolate this guy. To do this, it's a pretty square rifling, as you can see. So in order to do that, what I'm going to do is export this cylinder so that I could use it for the center of the barrel so that I could have the point along which everything can be rotated. Center it, move it right there. Okay, so I actually had a round, I could use that one, but okay. Right. So now let's go into front view. Right there. Turn off this. Turn on this. Now I have to place 6 grooves. So I'll do those with like classical box, just like always. Where is it? All right, it's covering. Scale it. Scale it somewhere there. So about the length of this box. How to figure out the length, the width of this thing. I could try it and just do the experiment and try how they're gonna look, but I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to create another cylinder with every edge on every point, like here, and count those edges. So if there's 6 grooves, so it's 12 edges. Create a cylinder, go to 12 edges, so like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yes, this is correct. And now this is like the approximate width of my box right there. Yeah, it's somewhere there. Actually, I eyeballed it. Okay, so let's use this box. And what I'm going to do is to... Okay, so yeah, right. Rifling is going to be baked, so I don't need to worry about topology right now. So let's go and just try to align it to this circular shape somehow. You can divide it and see how it repeats the shape somewhere there. That's okay. Now we actually need that those vertices go in, like covering the barrel like this. Okay, so now I want to duplicate this shape in a circular manner 5 more times. So what I want to do is to align to this point there, and now go to edit, duplicate special, turn off this, number of copies 5. We need to rotate it, set this to 0. We need to rotate it along the green axis, which is X. Rotate. So 360 by 6, which is 60 degrees. So you need to turn 60 degrees 5 times and hit apply. And we picked the wrong axes. That's okay. I guess that's because we don't have like freeze transformations. Yeah, this worked. Okay, so now let's combine those. Clear history, don't need this more. And now select these guys and move them all the way here. Alright, so, and now I'm going to twist this shape. But before that, in order to twist it, I need to add supporting edges all the way along those guys, because like when it's going to be twisting, it needs some geometry to twist, and since there are no like supporting edges, it will be messed up. So select these guys, hit connect, and add as much as you can. 30, for example, or even 40. Okay, let's stick to 40. Click connect again, it computes. Sometime, I don't know why Maya does that. 3ds Max does that really fast, but Maya is not. Come on, yes, we got it. We have those edges, center the pivot. Now go into the form, and then non-linear, twist, select here, turn off transparency, and I don't remember. Yeah, start angle. And as you can see, when you turn this parameter, it twists. The most important part to have the pivot in the center of this object, so it's going to twist along the proper axes. So I'm not really sure like how many twists there in this barrel. This is really technical stuff, and there are ways to calculate that, but again, we don't need that. We just need like the look of twisted rifling there. So I think it's not twisted even more than that. I guess it's somewhere there. So now let's select this object and delete history, which will apply this twist. And now you can isolate and see how it looks. So again, go back, export this guy back into here, and just import it. Boom, like this. All we need is to crease. Yes, this looks perfect. Set to subtract, and here you go. Nice rifling. Really fancy looking. Check this out. I think for better looking, I would even scale it out just a bit. Hold this and Alt and scale it just a bit more. Just a bit. Right there, and same thing for the barrel there. Select circle. Now rectangle, deselect. And deselect these inner vertices like this. I almost did that. Well, as you can see, like selecting and moving and scaling vertices in ZBrush is quite tricky. Not the most easy thing, but you can actually like learn it and be comfortable with it, and embrace it all in practicality. Like this. Turn on the poly paint. Yeah, now it looks cool. Now it looks great. I like it. So, yep. I guess the chamber is kind of too wide. Oh, right. I have this issue right here. Because I widened up the chamber, it messed up this part over here. So I need to do some adjustments. Which are or no or no, I'm going to leave it like that. Yeah, I'm going to leave it like that. It's fine. Okay, so let's turn on our cartridges. Turn off this one, looks ugly there. Turn on frame, turn on slide. Right, there's one last tiny thing we're left. Here is turn on the rect slide. You remember we have this slide that is collapsed that I can use to move the slide backwards. And yeah, this is proper length because it should go not too much further than the cartridge position. Right there. Oh, it's not up to date. Sorry guys. Let's update the slide. Delete this one. And turn on the slide. Make Boolean mesh again. Yep, no problem. Here it is. Select slide. Go back in here and append it. Right there. Turn off this slide. And now move it right there. Yeah, everything in the places. Turn off polypaint for those weird color markings. Well, actually, I'm not really sure what these things are when the ZBrush is completing the Boolean operations. It indicates by color, I guess, the problematic areas that had some issues, but like I have this a million times and it actually computes pretty great. If you turn off the polypaint, you can see that this is actually really nice. Yeah, there is like the weird topology, but it dynameshes perfectly, so no need to worry about that. So what I was talking about here, if we are going to see any unnecessary parts there, well, first of all, this area over here, it does not look proper. Pretty sure it's not looking like that on the gun. Yeah, you can see it has like just walls, thin walls, and like this boxy thing with a cutout over there, and we can check it out right here. Right, yeah, this is it. I'm wondering if I need to model this, if it's going to be visible. Well, I could say no, and actually I would say no. It's not going to be visible. So yeah, I'll keep it like this. The only thing I need to redo is those walls over there. So go to the slide folder, turn off this slide, and let's hide all the rest. And I'm going to use this box, so just duplicate it because it's already fitting there perfectly. Turn to subtract, move it inside just for a bit, and now move down like so, even lower, and more forward, right there, right to this point. I could go further, but it has no purpose in that. It's not necessary. Move it back. And now the slide looks proper. We're never going to see this part of the slide, and like actually going to delete the polygons on the low poly of this array because I don't need them. So now the slide is ready as the barrel. Let's turn on all the guys there, and you can see we're looking good. Something wrong with this thing, I'm not sure. Yeah, you can see this has the weird shape. Why so? I'll just manually move it. And make it centered. As you can see, I'm just right. I need to select barrel, and now I'm just scaling it so that the pivot will fit the whole of the barrel, and it's not aligned perfectly. Somehow it moved, so just move it there to fit like this circle right there. Yeah, now it looks good. Now it looks exactly how we need it. Okay, so this looks good. And we're almost done here. And only thing left here is sights and small pins, like the trigger, safety here. So we're almost done. Let's go on.